Well, good morning. Today is Wednesday. I had to think for a minute. Wednesday, June 27th. Boy, this month is just getting away from me. It really is. I can't walk today because it's raining. It's raining all day. It's thundered a couple times, and they're calling for it to rain till like 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. I'm concerned that my pool looks like it's about ready to overflow, so I'm going to have to go out in the rain and put a hose in there to kind of siphon some of the water out. Otherwise, it's just going to be... I don't want the liner to collapse on me. But I just might let that be Jim's job because that's an outside job. Oh, I'm trying to think what that string is, but now I've figured out what it is. It's a balloon left over from Sophia's party. She's got cats, and so they get into the string. But anyway, today I thought I'd talk a little bit about what I've learned on my Weight Watchers journey so far about myself. I've been on this for 18 months. Doesn't seem possible. 18 months, and I've been on it for 77 weeks. It's a long time. And I've lost almost 70 pounds, 69.1. So that averages a little less than a pound a week, which I know in the past I would have said, is it really worth it? You haven't even lost a pound a week. But then again, 10 years ago I thought, you know, if I would have just lost 52 pounds from my birthday to the next birthday, I would have had 52 pounds off of me. And I never did anything about it. I've really thought about this a lot, about what I've learned about myself. I have always been pretty confident in myself. I've always told you that. And my weight probably should have been more of an issue for me than it was. I'm not saying that I didn't want to lose weight. I always wanted to lose weight. I know I did. But I never really put forth the really strong effort, other than when I was really young. And then I went on a diet, and most of them were crash diets, and they weren't healthy. And I did lose the weight for a temporary amount of time, but I always put it back on, and then I put on even more. I slowly built myself back up. And I really, in a way, damaged my body, because I do believe that once you have a fat cell, that it's there forever and ever. And as soon as you go off any kind of a program that you're on, that those fat cells come back to life, and makes it a little bit more difficult to lose weight. That's by no means scientific. I'm just talking about my own experiences with losing weight. This time though, I was just making the comment to Denise the other day when we were traveling somewhere, not traveling somewhere, we were going to the store, but I was amazed that when we first moved in here, it was fairly new subdivisions. I moved in here in 2006. My house was built in 1999. A lot of the houses around here were built between 1999 and 2005. So it was a fairly new subdivision in this area. And so there weren't a lot of food choices. But I would find them, even if I had to go far. I would look near and far to get my food choices. When I moved in, there was a Taco Bell, a McDonald's, and a Burger King, and that was it. And so I spent so much of my life since I've moved here eating fast foods. There's a restaurant that's over by me that had really nice carry-out. Tuesdays were burgers. You could get a burger and fries for like $3.99. So every Tuesday, Jim and I went and we got carry-outs of burgers and fries. We always went on Fridays, got carry-outs of fish and chips. We went to McDonald's, we went to Burger King. There was a pizza, was it a Jets pizza? Oh, Little Caesars pizza by us, and so we always had, once a week we had pizza, once a week we had the hamburgers from the restaurant, once a week we had fish and chips from the restaurant. I would make family dinner, and that really was the only healthy meal, if you want to call it that I ate, because we ate so many of our meals out. And it was just a matter of, do you want Burger King or McDonald's or Wendy's? Oh, then we had a Wendy's. Or do you want Wendy's? Because Jim doesn't like Taco Bell. And that's what we lived on. And it was sad. We spent so much of our food budget on fast food and restaurant food. But now, I couldn't tell you the last time I had a Wendy's. It's been so long since I've had a Wendy's. We went right by the McDonald's. Now, I've had their breakfast. I like their sausage biscuits. But it's been a while since I've had a sausage biscuit even, but I couldn't tell you the last time I had like a hamburger or a quarter pounder or anything like that from McDonald's. I have had my share of Burger Kings, I will admit. But now all of a sudden all these places are springing up around me, and what I've learned is I don't need to go to them, because We now have a Panda Express because I love Chinese food. We have a China Kitchen that or China King that does carry out for Chinese food. We have a Kentucky Fried Chicken. We have an Hardee's. We have Checkers. We've got a Potbelly's. We've got Applebee's. We have so many restaurants that have popped up around us, and Qdoba's, Jersey Mike's. I just can go on and on and on. And I'm not tempted to go to them because I would prefer to have a healthy sandwich. I would prefer to have a healthy meal. And I know that I've never really, I always prided myself on the fact that I didn't use artificial sweeteners in anything. But then when I look back, oh my gosh, Sandy, you did. Because my daily routine would be, even when I was working, I always had pop or tonic or soda, wherever you call it in your area of the world. But I would always drink a 32-ounce pop with whatever I got. If I got a McDonald's or a Burger King or anything like that, I got a 32-ounce pop. Never got ice because ice takes up room. You know, forget that. I'm not going to have ice. And I always had Hostess cupcakes or Hostess ding dongs or the Suzy Q's. Always had those. Always had those in my cupboard. Always had cookies. I ate store-bought cookies, but you know, I'm not a fan of store-bought cookies, but you know, I would eat store-bought cookies. Now, all of this stuff has got artificial flavoring and artificial colors and ingredients, the sugar, if you just listed it, but I never really thought about it at that point. And I'm just not interested in it that much anymore. Plus, when I do occasionally have it, it affects me, and I'm in the bathroom constantly because my system is just not used to it. It's used to just having healthy foods. I didn't gain the weight to hide myself from anybody. I think that the problem I had was that my parents gave us so much self-confidence when we were growing up, which is a very good thing. But with that self-confidence sometimes came a blind eye that you didn't really see, that you were kind of harming yourself. I had no problem getting bigger and bigger and bigger because I knew who I was, I liked who I was, and I didn't let it affect me in any shape, way, shape, or form. And people could talk about me in that, but I really thought that my nature, and I know it sounds like I'm bragging, but I think I have a pretty good personality, and I always thought that my personality overcame that. If people wanted to judge me for how I looked, I didn't want them in my life in the first place. If you don't like how I look, then keep walking. I don't need you in my life. I have enough people that love me for who I am. That, everybody wants to be loved and everybody wants to be liked. I'm not saying that, but I just thought, like if you don't know who I am, if you're only going to look at me and make a judgment of who I am, keep walking, because you find someone else to like them, because I want someone that's going to take the time to get to know me. And I think that now that I'm losing weight, I'm seeing who I really am. And I know that I'm still the same person on the inside, but I feel so much more pride in how I look on the outside. Not to say that I was ashamed of the way I looked, but I didn't go around feeling pretty good about myself, I guess. I would never say, oh, hey, look at me, or whatever. I like my shirts that always have sayings on it. People look at you then because they're reading your sayings, and maybe I was doing that to draw attention to myself. I don't know. I don't think so. I just like to express myself through my clothing, I guess. And it's just funny because I always thought that when I was heavier, and I still have this mentality, which I'm trying to work on, when I was heavier, I always would only buy like shoes and socks. Shoes and socks are my big, and the socks, I think, which we've talked about this in past videos, is my mother was like an impulse person, and she'd just get up and say, I gotta go to the store, I gotta get socks. Well, now I realize that socks is kind of my tie-in to my mother. I really like socks. Shoes I like because shoes could always fit. Even though I have a big foot, I could always go in the men's department and find a pair of shoes that would fit. Clothes I always had a hard time with. I'm not having a hard time with it now, but in a way I am, because I'm having a hard time looking at the smaller sizes. I have a hard time looking at the extra larges rather than looking at the 1 and 2 and 3Xs. And my pajamas are falling off of me, and they're a 3X, but I'm just not ready to go buy an extra large, and I know that's silly. It's just so silly, because that's what I'm in. I am in an extra large now. My body has gotten ahead of my mind, if you know what I'm talking about. I need to convince myself that you know, you are getting smaller. I can look at it in certain ways. I can look at myself like right now, I think I look pretty thin. But sometimes when I look at myself, I think, oh my gosh, Sandy, you got such a long way to go. And I know that's not true. I've learned so much about myself, and I know that's easy enough to find comfort in food, and I really think that a lot of times that's what I did. If I was having financial problems, which was due to the fact that I ate out so much and spent so much money out, when I would do my budget every month, I would always eat something because it always made me feel so much better. And if I got mad at somebody for whatever reason, I would turn to food because, you know what, it gave me some comfort. And now I realize that it really wasn't comforting me. It was satisfying me for that quick little hot minute, but then I was feeling guilt afterwards, and then that tended to lead me to go and eat more. And the more I ate, the more I felt bad about myself, and the more I felt bad about myself, the more I ate. And now I know that's just not true. I do have occasional days that I just want to binge, and I'm going to do that. I know that's what I'm going to do. That's who I am. But I have to rein it in, and I have to control it. And I think I'm doing better with that. Not on the weekends, but this past weekend I did good. So I know I'm on the right track, that I'm going to get back to doing what I need to do. But, so anyway, that's what I've learned about the reason I got so fat. How did I get, and I know that nobody likes to hear that word, but it is, you know, like they say, oh, she's a little pudgy, she's a little overweight, she's a little squishy. No, I was fat. I was just downright fat. And the sooner you say those words out loud, the sooner you're ready to face the road ahead of you. And I'm ready to face that road because I'm no longer fat. I'm overweight, but I'm getting beyond the fat part. So, okay, sorry I rambled on so long. I'm going to show you my breakfast and dinner, and that's probably about all the time I'm going to have left. So thanks a lot for putting up with my foolishness sometimes. Well, my standby breakfast. I love it. Started my day with a prayer. I drank 50 ounces of water. My quote is, don't expect to see a change if you don't make one. 24 smart points, 0 for my egg, my berries, my banana, my grapefruit tea and water, 3 points for my 4 slices of bacon, and 5 points for my toast with a teaspoon of butter. So it's 8 points. I have 16 points left. Okay, we had some leftover burgers, so we're having burger again. I'm going to have a salad with some cottage cheese and pineapple. I had 16 points left, and my dinner is exactly 16, so much for trying to do the 10 under again this week. But at least I'm still at my points. So it's 4 points for my 3 ounce of ground sirloin, 4 points for my hamburger bun, 4 points for my 1 ounce of cheese, 3 points for my half a cup of cottage cheese, 1 point for my 2 tablespoons of Panera dressing, and 0 for my tea, water, salad, mustard, relish, and onion. So it's exactly 16 points, so I hit exactly 24 points for the day. Well, I think it's funny that I said I was going to do the 10 under again this week, and I haven't done it 2 days in a row, but I've stayed on track with my points, so that's all that really matters. I had 21 points on Monday, I had 25 points yesterday, and I had exactly 24 today, which is what I'm allowed. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm hoping for my 1 pound loss so that I can have my even 70 pounds and get a star in my book for next week. Okay, got to answer my comments. I got a couple more videos to watch, and then I'm going to watch my Big Brother because it starts tonight. And I watch MasterChef, and I also watch Gordon Ramsay's To Hell and Back. So I got a busy night. Oh, I also I just noticed the girls left something under the couch there. I also watched Code Black. So I got my whole night full of things I'm going to watch on TV tonight. And I finished my first book, and now I'm on to my second book. So now I'm into the second part of the series. Oh, I should tell you about it. I'll tell you tomorrow about my other book. I'm going to read Shadow of a Doubt, which is the second book in the series. And I will tell you about how I like the first book tomorrow because I've run out of time today. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Give me a big like. Subscribe if you're new to my channel. Leave a comment and share. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.